Okay, how you feeling now, san?
Uh, I'm really great. It's so exciting to talk with you in front
Oh,
of many people. I don't know how many people will listen to in the future. Yeah.
I'm hoping a lot, and I'm blushing a little bit, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's begin. So I'm just gonna quickly introduce to listeners what we're gonna be doing. So first off, I'd like to start off by welcoming our guest speaker for today. Her name is Nal, and we've known each other for about 5 years. I think we
Five
met during.
years?
Is it? I think so. I think we met during COVID. Is that right?
Oh, you're right. Such a
Yeah,
long time.
5 years.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
unbelievable.
Time flies. Yeah,
Mm,
time flies. Yeah,
time flies.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so she recently passed the United Nations Association Test of English, which is 国連英検,
Yes.
and she's worked incredibly hard to achieve it. So once again, congratulations. You absolutely deserved it, every bit of it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, good. Okay, so today, NASA and I will talk about one of the most controversial and strictest laws that we've ever heard of before. And I'm
Mm,
trying not to laugh because it's crazy. It is crazy.
mm, yeah.
So at the end of 2024, a law was passed in Australia that will ban children under 16 from using social media. And it'll come into effect probably a year later. At the moment,
Mm,
we just don't have an exact date of when this is going to start.
mm,
And the reason why the government wanted to introduce this ban was simply to protect our kids from the
mm,
harms of social media. So
mm,
examples like cyberbullying, exposure to inappropriate content, addiction, and so
mm,
forth.
mm.
Yeah. So that was the introduction, just to give our listeners an idea of what we're going to be talking about and who you are. So now, let's talk about this.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, when you first heard about this, what was your initial reaction? I think this was about a couple months ago, back in November. Yeah. What was your
Yeah.
reaction?
Back in November, when
Mm,
I was desperately studied Kokure Aiken English speaking test, I came across that
mm, mm,
news,
mm, mm,
which struck my attention, of course, because I'm one of parents who have teenagers.
mm.
Actually, I have 16 years old,
Yep.
and the other is 13. So
Mm,
I'm kind of parent of teenagers. I really understand why the government of Australia has imposed such a strict ban.
mm, mm, mm.
And from a parent's perspective, I think it's gonna be, reassuring for parents who have teenagers because
Mm.
on social media platforms, you encounter so many unknown people who
Mm,
might be predators or I don't know, scammers, sex
mm. Yeah.
offenders,
Oh,
yeah,
right. Yeah.
misogynists,
True.
terrorists, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
very dangerous place for young people.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean,
Mm.
these kids just
But
don't. Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
yeah, additionally, they are quite gullible enough
Mm, mm,
and misinformation, disinformation are no doubt,
mm,
everywhere on social media platforms.
mm, mm, mm.
So it's kind of headache for every parent.
Yeah. That's so
Mm.
true. You mentioned that you've got two young kids, two teenagers. Do you talk about the threats and dangers that are lurking on social media? Is that a discussion that you have at the dinner table, or is it something you talk about?
With my family members?
Yes. Yeah.
No, we have never had such a conversation because my kids are more into, manga, reading manga, listening to music, or gaming.
Oh, right.
Mm.
Right.
They are not keen on social media.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm quite lucky to have such a kid. But if I had
Mm,
a girl, I would need to pay more attention to her smartphone.
Right.
That's at least what I want to do as a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite rare, for teenagers in today's age to not be really interested in social media. Because I think every teenager you meet today, they have like at least one account of something, whether it's X, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. So
Yeah.
I think I think you're a gifted mother. Like to have kids is not really into social media. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, very much. I'm quite lucky. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
They are not interested in other people, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
So yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of kids today they use social media for various reasons. Whether it's connecting with their family members, their friends, they use it for all kinds of things. Do you think that social media is harming children, like what the Australian government believes and thinks?
Yeah, I think so. Social media platforms the best place for kids to bully their
Mm,
peers.
yeah.
I think not only that girls will have more exposure to very beautiful women
Mm.
with perfect body image, that will definitely decrease their self-esteem, right?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. And you know, that will definitely cause mental health issues.
Mm.
It's very worrying, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Not
Mm.
only just like mental health stuff, like especially when people compare themselves with the people they see on social media,
Mm.
they start going on like dangerous eating habits. Some people will probably like, bulk up, especially guys, they want to be more masculine because that's what they see on social media, whereas
Yeah.
some girls will be like, oh, I gotta stop eating that much. So,
Yeah.
that people do begin these dangerous eating habits. So yeah,
Mm.
they are harmful, no doubt about that.
Yeah. They are
Mm.
adolescents. They shouldn't keep their weight low,
Mm.
which
Mm.
will cause, I believe, reproductive health issues in the future.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So,
Mm.
very problematic, I suppose.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah.
Mm.
So you've got this impact on health, but what about education? Do you think there are a lot of kids today using social media? They kind of say,
Mm.
"Oh, social media has helped me to pass exams or whatever." Do you think
Mm.
social media is having a negative impact on kids' academic performance, or do you think it's having a negative impact?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
If yeah, if they are keen on improving their academic backgrounds, academic careers, they will
Mm,
use social media for their benefits, like me.
mhm,
But
mhm,
if they are not, social media is very dangerous. It will serve as a, entertainment tool for them to kill their
mhm,
time. They
mhm,
won't study hard anymore.
mhm.
Mm, yeah.
Right. But why not though? They know that they've got to study. If they've got an exam or if they've got an assessment to do, they know they've got to do it. But then why do you think social media is kind of distracting these young kids?
Yeah, I think people in general really like attention from many people.
Mm,
They
me
are
too.
seeking attention. You too.
Who doesn't like attention? No, I'm joking. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they are definitely seeking attention
Yeah.
and they want likes, right? And followers. They are
Yeah.
desperate to acquire more followers
Yeah.
on social media.
Mm,
They
mm, mm,
will affect their academic
mm,
grades.
mm. Yep.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I was listening to an expert not too long ago who was saying that whenever when people get a like or have a new follower, they get like a dopamine hit in the brain. So it's that it's that burst of like euphoria, like, oh yeah, I got a new follower, or someone liked my photos. And I think that is kind of why a lot of young kids, not just young kids but also adults as well, they're really hooked and addicted to these platforms. It's that that short burst of dopamine hits that you get from it, which you don't really get from any other places.
Yeah, I remember one study showed that social media is as addictive as gambling and alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Yes.
If we have to keep ourselves from social media from time to time to
Yeah.
safeguard ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. But we do sometimes hear how teenagers say that, well, they use social media and they gain, like they learn things from social media because there are people out there who post videos like educational content, and some of the teenagers, they rely on this content to for knowledge and for advice and tips that's beneficial for their learning. So in that regard, don't you think social media can play a positive role in promoting education?
Yes, so it does. Definitely it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I think
but you can,
earlier. Yeah.
but you can also find very informative contents on
Mhm.
YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
True.
YouTube isn't one of social media platforms.
Yeah, yeah, good question. So, I did a bit of research, and although this law is not like it's not confirmed, it is confirmed, but the details aren't really out yet. But as far as I know, YouTube would not apply, so people will be able to go on YouTube. But I think the ones that will be banned is what were they? Like X, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, those ones. Yeah. So YouTube, yeah, people can still go on and do whatever they want.
So
Yeah.
by the way, parents in Australia, how do they react?
One of the reasons why this law came to be was because so many parents basically wanted more control over their children, wanted to be able to monitor, the kids and stuff, but that was kind of impossible. So a lot of parents were asking the government to ban social media, simply. So I think a large majority are really happy with this outcome, even though this will come into effect a year from now, but still it's a huge step. It's a huge step towards protecting young children, but also empowering parents and caregivers. Yeah.
I think if parents are really good at parenting, they don't need to have such a blanket ban, but
Oh,
because parenting requires a lot of effort and energy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, paying attention to kids requires a lot of efforts, but if such a strict ban is imposed from the beginning, we don't need to care so much about their harms. We don't need to pay attention to their smartphone usage.
Right, right.
So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, that's I agree with that. I agree with that. But I think um I think the parents today don't really know much about social media. I think a lot of parents don't even have a social media account, so they probably just don't know how they can deal with the situation. They don't have the know-how. So I understand that having parents being more proactive in their kids and stuff like that is important, but yeah, I just don't think all parents at the moment are capable of educating their kids well.
Yeah, they lack social media literacy.
Yeah, yeah. But also,
Yeah.
because nowadays, or not just nowadays, but I think for a long time, both parents are out working. So they just don't have that.
Yes.
time spent with
Time.
their kids. Yeah.
Keeping an eye on kids
Mm-hmm.
requires time. So
Yep.
I also do not have enough time to pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I leave them, but I believe them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So trust is very
Trust.
important.
Yeah. Yeah. So how
Yeah.
do you build trust? I mean, this might be a bit of a silly question for me, but like, I think a lot of parents are trying to work out how can they establish a strong bond, a strong trust between, the parents and the children. Like, would there be an advice or a tip?
Wow. That's a $1 million question. Literally $1 million question. Well, I think showing good examples to them.
Right. So you got to be a role model, right?
Yeah, we need to
Yep.
be the
Mm,
best role model for
yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
That will build trust between us. I have never
Mm,
lost my trust for them.
mm-hmm.
Besides, luckily, they are not into social media, so I
Right.
don't need to be concerned about it.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't know how to build the best relationship with our kids. I want to know too.
I thought you have the answer.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't think so. I'm not
Yeah.
a perfect mom. Um,
But you do work really, really hard, and I think we all know that.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Mm.
So yeah. So moving on, some people say that banning social media is going way too far, and some people believe that wouldn't it be better just to have like a time restriction instead? So, for example, like allowing kids to use social media for like 2 hours a day. So instead of a complete ban, have a set time restriction. Isn't that a better way of protecting kids from harm? Like, what do you think? Which option, in your opinion, is better?
I don't think. I think it's gonna incentivize them to use social media platforms.
Mm.
They will. Mm, s- that's gonna spark their desires to be
Right,
on
right,
social media, right?
right,
So I don't think that's a good idea.
right. And I think kids,
Mm.
if they're over the limit, I think they're gonna get really frustrated. Like, oh, my two
Ah,
hours for today is over. Like, oh, I want to see who liked
mm.
my pictures, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they would
true,
release their frustration to their peers at school.
right, and the government
Yeah,
probably like,
and the
what a
government. Yeah,
stupid rule.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
mm, we have to consider the aspect as well.
Yeah, so it's just, I guess, more
Mm,
ideal to ban all of it, so kids have no way of accessing
mm,
social media. Yeah.
mm,
So, as far as I know, I when this law came out, was introduced, I first thought
mm,
that if kids somehow found a way to access social media, I thought
mm,
the kids would be penalized, and I thought the caregivers and the parents would also be penalized as well. But
mm,
upon kind of reading different articles, apparently, even if kids do find a way to open accounts, they
mm,
won't be penalized at all. It'll be the responsibility of social media companies to ensure that under 16s
mm.
are not able to create an account. And if that does happen, the media companies are going to be fined.
But how do they verify their age?
Well, that's something I'm not really too sure yet. I couldn't really find a precise information on how this is going to happen. But then again, this law was introduced like 3 months ago, so I think it's giving social media companies a whole year to figure out and create a system where they can verify the age of the person creating the account. So,
Yeah,
so
face
yeah,
recognition.
well, yeah, I'm not sure. It could
Face.
be, it could be,
ねえ、うん。
but I, yeah, face recognition probably, or maybe they need.
Probably.
Yeah, but I don't really know how they're gonna do this.
Mm,
Yeah, but
mm,
because some people say that there's no this ban is pointless because kids will find a way to get around this law. They'll find a loophole somehow,
Mm,
and they'll
mm.
manage to create an account and use it. What do you think? Because kids today are really smart. If they want something, they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want. They're motivated
Yeah.
by that desire. So,
Mhm.
there are critics saying, "What's the point?" Kids are going to find a way. There's going to be a solution out on YouTube in about a month. So,
Mm, mm. I
so
agree with
yeah.
that.
Mm.
Because they're kind of digital native,
Yeah, yeah,
tech
exactly.
savvy, really tech
Yeah.
savvy, more than me. So
Mm.
they know how to find another place.
Mm.
Yeah, that's gonna be a loophole. Mm.
Mm.
I have never thought of that, but
I
very understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I'll give you an example. Like when I was in high school,
Mm,
in the library, I
mm,
think they had about like 20 computers, and anyone could basically use it during break or during, if the computer's available, you can use it anytime. And
oh,
it's we weren't allowed to access certain websites, so like
mm,
Facebook or YouTube, for example. And if we try to access it, it just blocks it. So there's no way for us to use it. But
mm,
us being teenagers, and we really want to go on YouTube and at school.
mm.
So we all kind of figured a way into the system, and so we were watching YouTube at school, even though the school
Wow.
blocked these websites, we still found a way. Yeah.
Wow.
So obviously, kids are smarter than the technicians who built the system.
Smarter than technicians.
Exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why critics are saying, what's the point?
Mm,
Kids are already smarter than the people building the systems, which I agree. Yeah.
point. What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
But, yeah. So, anyways, if one day the Japanese government announced, okay, everyone, we're going to do what Australia is doing. We're banning
Mm.
anyone under 16 from using social media. How do you think people in Japan would react? Would they would they react positively, or would they be like, nah, no, don't do this in Japan, please. Just keep it down in Australia. No, don't bring it to Japan. What do you think?
I don't know because I'm not a conventional mom.
Okay, okay.
I have a very different opinion.
Oh.
So I don't
Mhm.
know. But
Mhm.
we won't take to the street. We won't,
Yeah, yeah.
apply petition or whatever
Mm,
for our government. I
mm.
think overall we won't react so much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we will just conform with the
Right,
new
right,
law.
right,
Yeah,
right.
imposed. Mm.
Oh, right, right. But do you think like majority of the parents in Japan would be like, silently happy about it?
Silently happy about it.
Yeah. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Because
Mm,
17 years old is already enough to acquire
mm.
tech skills, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
they will eventually develop more
mm.
sophisticated skills.
Right, right.
So we don't need to consider seriously about mm, young
Mm.
people's use.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have to protect them from harms
Mm.
and exploitations
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, sex offenders or whatever.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think parents in Japan will have positive, yeah, positive feeling
Mm-hmm.
over it. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah. I also watched there were some videos on YouTube about what the kids really think about this. Some Australian kids were interviewed, and under 16s were interviewed, and then
Mm-hmm.
of course some of them were like, "Oh, this is crap." Like, you're taking our freedom away and stuff like that. But on the other hand, you've got other kids saying that, "Oh, it's a great idea." Because
Mm.
social media is really addictive, and because it's so addictive, sometimes I cannot control myself.
Right, right, right. My
Yeah.
kids
Mm.
actually reacted favorably for Australian government's a
Oh,
bracket
okay.
ban on social
Okay.
media use
Okay.
among the youth.
Yep. Yep.
They said that girls are pretty mean these days
Oh,
because of social media.
right,
They are
right.
acquired very abusive languages, not just
Yeah.
words
Mm, mm,
too.
mm.
So yeah, they agreed with Australian
Oh,
government's decision.
right. True that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because yeah, kids like to, mimic what they hear and see on social media. So
Yeah.
if there are people using slangs and really bad, rude words on the internet,
Mm.
sometimes kids they want to look cool. They want to be on the trend, and
Mm.
they'll just their language just starts to become disgusting.
Right.
Mm,
Mm.
indeed. Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So, do you think by banning social media, would this kind of how do I put it? Increase family talking time and increase family time?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. When I visited, you know, everywhere, like, yeah, when family get together, they
Hmm.
are constantly looking at their smartphone. They are glued to their screens. They have
Yep.
no conversation between
Hmm.
them.
Yep.
I don't really like the situation. Uh,
Uh,
um, yeah, um, we are trying to have conversation when we have dinner or breakfast
mm,
with our phones.
mm,
So I think social media ban will energize them,
mm.
energize families to have more conversation,
Right. Right.
know each other.
Yep.
Mm,
Yep. Improve relationship. Right. The bond becomes
right.
more stronger.
Mm, yeah,
Mm.
profound.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, that's about 30 minutes. So yeah, let's wrap it up.
30 minutes. Oh,
That's
time
fast, and time
flies.
flies when we're having fun, right? That's what it means. When you're having fun,
Yeah.
time flies. um, is there anything else that you would like to add or you wanted to say?
Eh, Nothing, but I want to say thanks for having me today.
Oh, appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
It's really enjoyable and exciting experience.
Excellent. Oh,
Mhm.
perfect. Really great to hear that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your opinions. I think a lot of people
Yes.
enjoyed listening to what you think of this matter. And
Mm.
yeah, so thanks for coming on. So
Yeah.
that's we'll wrap it up. That's it for today. And thanks everyone. And thank you so much, Naosang, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
All right, pleasure. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, bye bye.
Okay, thanks. See ya. Thanks everyone.
See ya.
Bye.